Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of So Tell Us Time. We're so excited, as always, to be here with you. Today, we've got a great episode for you. We're going to be talking about gut check. It's time to do a gut check because it's crazy. It's almost halfway through the year. That's insane. I can't believe that half of the new year is almost over. Like, it feels like it just started to me. Um, we've been running 1,000 miles an hour though. Like,
Yeah.
life's been busy, work's been busy, events, speaking gigs, all tons of travel, I feel like. And I'm sitting there, Troy says, "Hey, we're halfway through the year." And I'm going, "What? How is half the year already over?" That is absolutely nuts. So it is time to do a gut check, let me tell you. And just so hopefully everybody out there is feeling good. You'll probably hear it in our voices. Troy and I both have this cold that's going around, this sinus infection or whatever it is, that making us sneeze and cough and just be icky. So hopefully it's bearable to listen to us today. But we're still here fighting, right? So let's talk about gut check right after a quick word from our sponsors. So tell us. Coming in hot from Arizona, this is Trevor
And Troy Howard.
and you're on So Tell Us Time. You can have everything you want in your business. Sometimes you just need a little help.
Every business owner would love to charge more for their services, but sometimes you can sacrifice long-term loyalty for a short-term profit.
Creating the right rituals is key to your business having success.
Are you tired of competing with your competitors? Guess what? You don't have to compete if you create.
All right, welcome back, everybody. So as we're talking about gut check today, the year is halfway over. Are you guys hitting your goals? Are you on track to hit your goals? What about your numbers? And have you met with your tax guy or gal yet? Because that's important. Planning for that. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Troy, go ahead. Let's do this.
All right. Yeah. So we're going to, we're going to talk about goals first today. So I want you to start thinking about your goals. At the beginning of the year, we had an episode where we talked about setting your goals for the year, breaking those goals down to monthly goals, down to weekly goals. So now is that gut check moment. Take a look at your goals for this year. How are you doing? Are you on track to, meet your goals by the end of this year? If you're not, how far off are you? Are you just a little bit off and you can make up the distance here in the next, couple of weeks? Or are you way off your goal and need to rethink? So if you're falling short, what do you need to do between now and the end of the year to reach your goals, right? And this is really, really important. We're going to talk about it kind of in numbers because numbers makes it easy, to kind of redo those numbers and figure it out. But your goals can be anything from, customer acquisition. It can be, financial, it could be anything, any goal that you set for yourself throughout the year. Now's the time to take a look and adjust so that you can go strong the last 6 months out of the year. All right, let's talk about numbers. How are your financial numbers? Are you even paying attention to your numbers? Do you know where you are at right now? And do you know where you should be right now when it comes to your numbers? Are you on track or are you falling short?
Well, I'll
Right?
tell you, when you said to me today that the year was half over and I wasn't paying attention, I all of a sudden perked up and was like, "What?" And I immediately opened up our numbers and I was like, "Where are we at? Are we on track?"
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And why do we do that? Because if we've got to make an adjustment, we need to make it now. Because if we wait till November and look at our numbers then, there's nothing we can do at that point. The year is over, right?
Yep.
So, you want to make sure that, you know where you're supposed to be by this time in the month or in the year. And then,
This time of the month.
yeah, exactly. And if you're falling
That
short,
That time of the month, guys.
no. If you're falling short, what do you need to do to make up that difference? For example, let's say your goal was to make an extra $100,000, top line revenue this year. And so that's basically, $8,000 or so a month extra. Where are you at? Are you shy right now? Does that mean that, looking at it, do you need to now make 9,000 a month extra for these last couple of months to make up the difference? So the numbers, it makes it really nice because you can just do the math and figure out what you need to do to hit your goal, right? Yep. Another thing you want to do with your numbers is you need to compare your numbers to last year, right? Take a look at up until this point last year. What did I do? What were my numbers? What did I do this year? And then make a comparison between those two, right? And that will give you a good picture of, how the rest of the year might go.
Well, they may not want to look at last year's numbers, Troy. Last year was rough for a lot of people.
It was. So the good thing about
maybe it'll
that,
make you feel good. Maybe this year's better.
It might make them feel better because they're going, oh, wow, I'm doing much better this year than I did last year, right? So we talked about if you're falling short, it gives you time to recalculate your new goals, right? What you need to do to reach your number by the end of the year. So what do you need to change in order to reach your numbers? That's the other thing that you need to think about right now. Again, we've got about a little more than half the year left. So what do you need to change right now to reach those numbers? Do you need to spend less? Because maybe you went on a spending spree at the beginning of the year and all of a sudden you're like, well, my revenue is the same, but my profits are low.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe you need to spend less. Maybe you need to do more marketing. Maybe it's your top line revenue that you're like, I need to get that top line revenue up. That's my goal. So maybe you need to do more marketing to get that top line revenue where it needs to be. Maybe you need to automate.
Do more marketing. You need to do more marketing, people. I guarantee it. I don't think I've ever walked into a company before that was not hitting the goals, right? They weren't just shooting for the moon. No one ever is spending enough money. No one's ever doing enough marketing. So right off the bat, I can tell you, I guarantee you should do more marketing.
Absolutely. I agree with that too. The other thing too is maybe you need to automate to make your company more efficient, right? Maybe your, operational costs are really high because you're throwing bodies at the work and the tasks instead of throwing automation at the tasks, right? So, maybe automation is what you need to put in place so that you can lower your employee cost and turn that money into profit.
Well, so that's and maximize, right? Maximize the employees that they already have. Because that's the thing is, absolutely. I guarantee probably you guys have, I guarantee you have people that you're like, they could do more. I could they're watching YouTube or they're sitting in their truck, at extra time at people's houses, or they're taking extra long breaks or whatever. Like, I guarantee that you've got somebody, if you've got employees, you got somebody that you're like, they could do more. And that's what automation can help with. I think people don't realize that automation can help maximize the employees that you do have. Because through automation, not only can it help with outreach to clients and stuff, but it can help with task management of existing employees so that you're maximizing their time and what they're accomplishing and making sure that they're on task. So automation, oh my gosh, it can help in all aspects of your business.
Yep. I was talking to someone the other day. We were looking at some automation for them. And I said, okay, how much time does your employee spend doing this every week? And they said, about 4 hours a week is spent doing that. And I was like, okay. And this is an employee that's paid hourly. And I said, okay, well, look at this. If we do this automation right here, boom, that can be done in about 5 minutes.
Yep.
And you just saved yourself almost 4 hours worth of pay, right? So you can either have that employee doing something more productive, right, with those 4 hours, or you don't need to pay for those 4 hours.
And they're like, oh my gosh. This wonky world of like our minimum wage, it's like you're probably paying most of these people $18 an hour. You're talking $72 worth of savings.
Yeah.
And in an 8-hour day, double that. So you save, that's good money right there. It literally, if you think about that, let's say your automation, setting up your automation costs you $100 a month. Okay. And what's crazy about that, you're going to save over $100 a day on tasks with employees. That's
absolutely awesome. Okay. So the next one is tax planning. And I know a lot of you are like, oh my gosh, like that's at the end of the year.
I don't
That's
want to
what we
think
do at
about
the
that.
end of the year. But no, the answer is that is not what you do at the end of the year. That is what you do multiple times throughout the year. So my question to you is, have you met with your accountant this year? And that's not just meeting with them to get your taxes for last year so that you can take care of that. It's, have you met with your accountant about your taxes this year? You should be planning exactly what you're going to do in order to, make sure that you do the very best things with your taxes.
Hey, so
So
tell us, time family, guess who we met with today? Our tax
absolutely.
guy.
You're absolutely right. We met with our tax guy, to get that done. So based on your goals and your numbers, do you need to change your tax strategies? And I'll give you a perfect example of this. Years and years and years ago, I sold a business, and was a nice chunk of change that came in, and I didn't even think about it. Met with my tax guy, at the very end of the year, almost the beginning of the year, and he's like, "Oh my gosh." He's like, "If you would have let me know that you were selling a business," he's like, "we could have done all of this tax planning to dramatically reduce the taxes you're going to owe." He goes, "But you didn't tell me. I had no idea." So that was a very costly mistake that I made about probably 10, 15 years ago. And I was like, I am never making that mistake again, because it probably
Like
cost
Troy
me
could have bought a house with the taxes he paid.
Yeah, I probably could have. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that's why you need to meet with your tax person, multiple times throughout the year, to adjust your tax plan based on what's happening in the business. So, what we did, we literally just sat down with our accountant today and we said, here are all of our numbers up through, May. Let's take a look at these. Where are we at compared to last year? What do we need to change? What do we expect our revenues to be by the end of this year? What do we need to adjust and change based on that? So, and just to give you some ideas, again, we don't give tax advice.
No.
We are not tax specialists or anything like that. But I'm just going to throw a couple of things out there to get your mind going, oh, there is more to just turning in my receipts. So one question might be, do you need to set up another company? Do you need different types of companies? Because there are benefits to C Corps, there are benefits to S Corps, there are benefits to, all these different types of businesses, disregarded entities. So, based on what's going on in your business, do you need another company that you might want to make, be able to reap some benefits from those companies and LLCs versus the one that you are right now?
Well,
So,
and if you haven't been refreshed, right, on what your type of business that you're filing is, like what they change the laws, they change the rules. They make it worse sometimes. They make it a lot better sometimes. They make it enticing to change to this. If you're this type, but you change to this and you have a long-term goal. I mean, there's all sorts of things. And that's why you got to be working with the right tax guy that's staying up and educated on everything. Because if you've just been the same thing, an S Corp, an LLC, or whatever, a C Corp for 20 years, and you've never talked to your tax person about what are the benefits of these other ones, like what are the current benefits, then you're definitely missing out on tax breaks. That's for sure. Because things change, and Troy and I have changed things over years.
Yeah, absolutely. The other thing, do you need to set up a 401k or an IRA? I can't tell you how many times it gets to the end of the year and the tax guy is like, "Oh, we need to take this money and put it in, some sort of tax deferred vehicle." But at that point, it's too late to set up a tax deferred vehicle. And they're like, "Well, we'll do it next year." And then guess what? You never do it until the end of the year where they go, "Oh, shoot, we needed to set up that thing." So do you need to set up any tax deferred vehicles now so that you're ready for the end of the year? Do you need to control your expenses? Are your expenses really high this year? Do you need to look for ways to utilize your capital before the end of the year, right? That's one of the things that we went over with our accountant today. what does our net profit look like? And then
Mhm.
what do we need to do as far as tax planning for that net profit? So we have a plan of exactly what's going to happen between now and the end of the year. So that is
Yep.
really, really important, is making sure that you get that tax planning done mid-year so that you're ready for the end of the year. Anything else you want to add, Trevor, before we get to the homework?
No, that's pretty good. I mean, really, guys, start thinking about it. Again, I'm blown away. I can't believe it. It's going to be, the year is going to be over before we know it. And I always say it every year. I say, by the time we hit October, I mean, the end of the year flies. It just flies by because there's all these activities, and holidays and stuff. So get-togethers and family and fun and all this great stuff. So it's coming fast. It's coming real fast. And here's the other thing too. In my opinion, if you don't want to go and meet with your tax person like now, then you've got the wrong tax person, because like you should be doing tax strategy. And I, like Troy and I'm excited to go meet with my tax person mid-year, because in fact, we meet twice a year with our tax guy, just to make sure we're on track with everything. Nothing has changed. And then we're doing strategy. Okay. That is what you should be looking to do, because it makes it a lot more fun. And listen, you want to make the most amount of money, and you want to be able to keep the most amount of money, and you want to be able, so that you can do things like continue to grow your business, right? It doesn't help you to give all the money away just because you're not being strategic in your tax planning. So mid-year, guys, woo, crazy. Let's get into the homework. Don't wait until the last month of the year to do this gut check. I know you might be thinking, oh guys, I got 6 more months. It's like, it's fine. I'll think about it in a month or so. No, because it will fly. The first 6 months of the year has already flown by. So don't wait till the last month of the year to do this gut check. It's going to be too late. You won't be able to change anything. Get it done this week. Make an appointment. This is probably a good time for your tax person, especially, right? And I know we're talking a lot of tax stuff, but I mean, that's a big thing that you should be, really looking at. But you want to also, because by meeting with the tax person, it kind of helps project what's going on. And then you can look at things. You're looking at your numbers. And then based on that, you can spend more money if you need to hit your goals. So it all works together. But this year, 2024, I want this to be a phenomenal year for you guys. And I know it has been for us. It's definitely better than 2023 was. I'm excited about it. And if you've been doing your homework every week, I know that this is going to be a good year for you guys. Yeah. So make sure you do your homework. Okay. We will check you guys on the next episode of So Tell Us Time.